Okay, so competent professional, and we are going to check which folder is it that we want to look at?
The both of the develop and review ones, they're I I don't quite
Which
understand
do you want to start with?
what is required of me in those two.
Yeah. So develop and review content. Can you read what it says on the roadmap for this?
Let me just get up that document real quick. I don't actually have it up, so just give me one moment. I've got the document. Let me just get.
So let me share the roadmap. Okay, so this is the roadmap for competent professional. Yeah, and if we go, the first part is the same for competent professional and for sector expert.
Yeah.
And the one that bothers you the most is develop and review, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this one?
Yeah, I kind of was getting confused by this.
Okay, so let's start with I developed and reviewed contents, context, and resources for two different target groups in the following examples. So if I ask you, what kind of projects have you been sharing on the portfolio? So give me a few names of what projects you have shared.
I was in the evidence I provided. It was a project I worked on for a client, like a mastering project, and then
Master project, okay. Which one else?
um project I was involved in participating and helping organize like an event I went to recently, but most importantly bringing a classmate to said event in order for them to be able to like socially develop within my community. I think that was the most important thing because
Okay.
Of that.
Okay, that's good. Okay. What else? Which other projects have you discussed? Have you shared evidence on your portfolio?
Of a potential future client that wants to work with me in the future. That's again more like social potential, but also displaying my skills, I believe, because I mean,
did you pitch at him some project? Did you explain what you have done before?
Yeah, no, I've submitted that evidence of because they have these ideas and they kind of wanted to know what I've done already. So I've already submitted evidence of me sending them like evidence of what I've done, and them then trading off ideas with me privately of what we could do potentially in the future. And like that's evidence I've already submitted.
Okay, that's great. So we've got those three. Any other main projects, or this is enough for the moment? Any other main projects you have been presented in evidence? This can do for the moment. No, okay.
No, but I can.
No. I just wanted to know what comes to mind right now, what you've got available. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the mastering. What was the output and the process for the mastering? Did you produce different masters or only one? There was only one output. What did you do?
It was only in this case, it was only one output because it was for someone's social media, like they like want to have like a social media presence, so they were covering a song that was very popular at that given time.
Yeah,
so they reached out to me.
And you only exported one file.
Yeah, in that specific circumstance, yeah.
So that could already be one target group. What you're just saying.
Okay.
Because there was, sorry, just a second. That's already because you developed and reviewed the contents, context, and resources for one target group.
Sure.
So you had the material and you reviewed it, so it was suitable for social media.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one.
Okay.
Okay.
In that case, would I have to actually submit like the track itself,
Yeah.
or
All
oh,
this, all the social media in which it was used, even better.
oh, amazing. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, because that would show the context. Always, you remember what I always tell you. Always, if you start the sentence including the keywords here, which is the keywords here? For me, it would be groups and context. Okay, so if in your explanation here, you wrote, for example, I reviewed and record and mastered uh, a song somebody recorded, so it was targeted for social media, blah blah blah. So then the moment you can easily naturally include what's in the title, then you can't fail on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the way you were explaining it to me, you were clearly reviewing and adequating to a context for different target group. So we've got one done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, in the other projects you have mentioned, did you have to change, for instance, for the potential client, did you prepare your reel in order to show it to them, or did you have to do something with material you have worked before in order?
I can. Oh, I have to go through my private Discord conversations now. I did send them a track I did for my final project, just so they could get like an understanding of what I can do. Before that was our first ever rapport privately.
Okay, here, what we're looking for is you taking adjusting that recording, or imagine if you put a package and you develop and review your portfolio in order to show it to that potential client. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just grabbing a song you've done before and forwarding it, because you're not developing and reviewing it. But imagine you put together a specific text, and if you curate a selection of songs that might include also songs that you haven't done yourself. So you're like kind of creating a playlist to communicate something to that client. Well, then you are reviewing and contextualizing resources for that client.
I understand. I've got something. There was someone I worked. There was someone I worked with in my final project. I literally made like a list of projects they should listen to get them inspired for our session in the future.
Well, that's it. That's you.
I didn't realize that's what it meant. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand now.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one. Now the other one. For two given purposes in the following examples. So now we're looking for the same as before, only now it's more about the purpose. So before we were focusing, for instance, in the mastering, we were focusing on what? On the fact that it was going on social media. It was about the context in which it was going to be used.
Yeah.
Right? So this one is very much about the target groups, because you were looking for social media context. You were looking for where it was going, and it was targeting people on social media. Okay.
Okay, I understand.
Now we're looking for something similar, only now is more because one could be because it was important to bring sales up. It was, it could be. So what could be the purposes? It could be just to make money. Okay, or it could be to for marketing, or it could be to expand, to network, not to expand the potential collaborators more than other thing, or it could be to what else could it be? It could be for social purposes. You could do it because you're interested in the values that project has. So it could be charity, it could be for your community.
I think for the case of the mastering, I think it was for the artist's brand, slash portfolio. Maybe I think that may.
Okay, so the mastering was mostly, you think, for the brand marketing.
For said person, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now you need another purpose where you have worked, and you reviewed. So what other purpose have you worked on? Like when you're doing things like like in your community that is important to you, and the specifics of the kind of music that you want to promote. Have you ever done something with the purpose for, to bring people to that? It's a bit like when you said here that you organize an event and you wanted to bring your mate. Did you review the content for that event a little bit? Did you do something so it could be open for other people? You know what I mean? Like, for instance, imagine my thing is emo, really dark kind of pop. But then if I'm organizing an event and I wanted to open to other people that usually don't listen to that, I might make it a little bit more bright and poppy. So maybe I review the playlist and the contents, so it opens up. So then, I might do that for different target groups and a different purpose, because here I'm trying to expand my community outreach.
Well, I'm kind of getting confused still, but I'll throw maybe a potential answer. I mean, for the recent event I went to, that like the theme was like Y2K, early like noughties, like underground like vibes. Like it's more of like it was so I mean, in jest it was still in theme with the community current day, but it was still like a community theme in order to bring people to the events.
The reason you were bringing people to the event, it was about building a community.
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go. So that is a purpose. So you reviewed the contents, context, and resources, and the purpose was building a community.
Yeah.
So okay, this is meant to be confusing because you've not usually compartmentalized the aspects of production that are, what is the purpose of this? What aspects of and that's why all this kind of blurs in your brain a little bit when you think about it.
Yeah.
But it's all about the way you talk about the different projects. So here is about who you're targeting. So say this could be, I made a cover that was blipped, so it could be suitable for younger audiences. You remove the swear words and the sexiness or whatever it is. So that would be review it for a different target group. Because you do it if what you have in mind is to target teenagers, for instance, and you make it more age appropriate, then you're reviewing the content for that. Okay.
I see. Okay.
It's just about looking what is the main reason why you did it, and whether it was because of the target groups you were targeting, or if you did it for a certain purpose, if you did it for sales. And sometimes they could both be true. You could do it on one hand because you want to expand your audience to teenagers, and you could do it on the other hand because the purpose is to make more money and expand the audience, and you're still going on to live radio, so you're still making it age appropriate. Both things can be true at the same time, but you have to know how to express it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll have to just do a bit of a bigger write-up in my contextualizations.
A little bit. As I said, it's just one sentence. You don't need to make a massive essay of it. All you need to say is, for instance,
'Cause I've got all the evidence. I've got all the evidence for this. And
Yeah, the evidence and the explanation is very brief. The explanation would be, in order to build a community around Y2K, we reviewed the contents, and the purpose was the community building exercise. That's is one sentence what you need to say. Just make sure that you use the keywords.
Okay, sure.
It's more like a statement.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you don't need to write a lot, and you know, even if you write it a bit shabby, just let it there for a minute. You still have, you know, we still, how many days do we have? What day is it today? You still have 1, 2, 3. You still have 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I've near finished this, and I've anyway. But even when I finish it, I need to go over all of it. I'm like not like crazy.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Crazy. That's what I mean. No, that's what I mean. You have to write it down now, what we're talking about, so it's there.
Yeah.
And then you can review it later and make it because your brain needs to get used to unblur and make it all sharp and clear. And that's not going to happen if you leave it for the last week. But if you do it now and you write these sentences now, when you review them, because otherwise you will go back to square zero and you will call me and say, I don't know what the difference between these two are unless you do it today. Yeah, you have to do it right now. Yeah.
It's taken me ages just to get the evidence. So as well. So I mean, as I said, I think I am nearly done. I just once I finish this, I'm gonna go over all my folders and just review everything and add more bits and pieces if necessary.
Yeah. So, well, you know, don't go too crazy with amazing. You know, when we were looking at Tariq,
I'm not go to Tariq's level.
People that are good at that and they enjoy doing it, great. But this is about evidencing the project. It's like you know, one file might be enough. Rescuing screen grab or screen capture or whatever. Cool. Is that closer to be clear for you?
That actually makes complete sense to me now. I'm not stressed or anything.
Okay, cool.
I'm really glad about these sessions. They really help me understand what's going on.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop the